I'm Tom Johnson, Thomas Johnson Antique Furniture Restoration in Gorham, Maine. This is a pair of chairs. These are designed by Hans Wegner. It's just called the Model JH512 folding chair. I don't know if they have any other name. They were first designed, or I should say first produced, in 1949 by Johannes Hansen. These particular chairs were purchased by the owner's grandfather, new in 1965 at the Hans Wegner Atelier in Copenhagen. And like I said, they're folding chairs. They fold up and then they're designed to hang on the wall. This little wishbone thing here. And you can see they're also branded here. These chairs are in fair shape. The finish obviously needs to be restored. All the reed work seems to be in pretty good shape. One of the seats has some broken areas. We'll see if we can repair them and bring this back to life. The main thing that's wrong is this wishbone arrangement is broken. This side of the piece is missing altogether, and the other side is broken too. So first thing we've got to do is repair that, and then we'll work on the finish and the reed. All right, the first thing we've got to do is get this stretcher assembly out of here. So, you know, the stretcher assembly isn't glued in here because it pivots in both places. So I think if I just am able to spread this apart, hopefully it'll pop out of there. Oh, I almost forgot to mark this chair. And you know, as a little side note here, I believe that this thing, maybe it was repaired before and it was installed backwards because of the stamp. The other one was reversed, and I think that's the correct way. When the chair is in its folded position, here's the brand. And when the chair is like this, if you looked under here, here's the brand name. And that, I'm just sort of guessing that's the way it ought to be. This is kind of interesting, actually. You can see where the breaks occurred in both of these. There's a little bit of a short grain problem here. This one was glued before. You can see the old glue there, but it failed. This one, they cut in new wood, put in a piece. It failed too, it's gone. And you can see where, in addition to the short grain problem, the tenon that's through there has further weakened this whole area. So I think I'll need to cut a little bit deeper than the last person. This part is broken all the way here. Maybe I should go right about there. I'll cut away some of that tenon, but that's a long tenon. There's plenty of tenon there. And maybe go back a little bit further. Hopefully that'll give it more strength. I've got some nice kind of light teak here. I think that ought to do the job. Okay, looks good. I've got a, my angle here isn't square. I got to angle this block a little bit. All right, I think that's as close as I'm going to get it. Now I like to relieve this inside corner just a skosh. I want to make sure that doesn't hang me up. You know, teak is known as an oily wood, although you know it's not like rosewood or anything. But I'm still just going to give these this joint a quick wipe of lacquer thinner. And I'll let the lacquer thinner flash off, and then I'll glue it. I'm going to use Tight Bond here. I feel like it's probably stronger than hide glue, and I really am concerned that this be as strong as possible. Give these a few minutes, let the glue soak in a bit. All right, now I'll do the exact same repair to the other one. All right, we'll let these dry overnight. I got to keep going till I get to this one, the 5/8. Being very careful to try to keep this thing round. That's not bad. I think the sanding will bring that right in. Okay, this is ready to be sanded with 100, but I think I'm going to do the other one first. I don't think it's necessary to try this out and share. I'm pretty confident it's going to work. I'll do the other one, then we'll try them out. Yeah, it works fine. I'm going to wash these down with a solution of thread cutter and water. You know, I'm quickly realizing I want to take these chairs apart to clean. Not to mention the fact that I never finished sanding my new wood. Now the teak looks good, and the caning looks good when it's wet too, the reed I should say. These handles where people's hands are really dirty. That's why you need a cleaner that can really cut grease and oil. So this is what came off one chair. Okay, I'll let these dry overnight. Okay, I've got to sand these now, but first, there's some pieces of the reed that are loose. Spaces like this and this have popped up. And I've got some like instant type glue here I'm going to use to see if I can get those down. That seems to hold it down pretty well. And then also I'm going to try to reweave a little bit on one of the seats. Alright, I think that's enough of the weaving repairs. I didn't do every single piece that's broken, but I did a few that I thought were key. Anyway, now I've got to sand, and I'm going to sand everything with 100 grit paper. it's funny, I just noticed, I had not noticed before, but this is the seat part. It had been broken and repaired before. There must be 2 screws in here. I'm just going to putty up this crack a little bit. Okay, I've got everything sanded, so now I'm going to apply some finish. I'll just use the Waterlox tung oil varnish. I'll brush it on though, but wipe it off. I won't, use it like an oil finish, not like a varnish. Now I'm going to coat the cane also, and I mean, normally, I say cane, reed. Normally it doesn't need a finish. Cane and reed has its own hard finish, but what I noticed about this, the reason that it looks so, I don't know, dull, is that the natural finish on this cane has worn off. And so hopefully the varnish will help bring it back its original color. Now in my last video I talked about oily rags and the need to get them out of the shop. I didn't say why though, and it's because these rags, when bundled up like this in an enclosed trash can spontaneously combust. And they will, it's happened. So I get all the oily rags, my brush, all these newspapers out of the shop. I like to lay them out outside so they dry. Some people put them in water. It doesn't matter what you do as long as they are out of the house. Okay, it's dried overnight. First I'm going to do a little bit of touch-up work on my new wood. This is the medium brown walnut dye stain, thinned out a lot. Funny, this piece of teak has such a color change there. I'm going to give this now another coat. I'm going to apply it with a gray Scotch-Brite pad, just as a method of applying it, and also it'll just help smooth it out, although it certainly feels fairly smooth right now. But it kind of works the oil into it, gives it a better finish. You can sort of hear that little bit of scratchiness. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but you can also hear it give way to the Scotch-Brite pad and become smoother. Now I'm just kind of patting this off, not like, really rubbing it all the way off there. I want to leave a little bit of build here. That first coat really soaked in. All right, we're going to let everything dry. All right, everything's dry, it looks good. I'm going to wax it now. I'm going to use Watco satin wax to wax these up. Once again, I'm not like rubbing it real hard. I'm kind of just going lightly here, trying to, leave a little bit there on the surface. You know, I'm thinking instead of trying to avoid the reed, I should just go over it with a little wax. Okay, ready to reassemble them. Just occurred to me I ought to polish them up a little bit. A little white vinegar seems to do the trick. So there you go, two Hans Wegner JH512 chairs. These were purchased new in 1965. We did a major repair on the stretcher assembly here. And then just cleaned them and sanded them, re-oiled them. This is the original reed caning. I did splice in some pieces here. I'm hoping that will help give it some strength. I'm not about to sit in these chairs to test this cane. It seems strong. The owner will find out as they start using them. I was trying to figure out why this piece broke where it did. Kind of trying to understand what stresses are going on here. And I have a theory. Because these chairs belong to the present owner, grandfather, what I've seen in my age group and older people, I noticed this with my father-in-law particularly, that they were getting out of chairs using their arms. And since both stretchers were broken on the same side, it makes me think that when people are getting out of these chairs, it's got handles right here, that they are pushing really hard. Maybe their whole body strength on those. So, granted this is harder. Here I go sitting in one. I'm not putting my weight back on it though. But you need to be able to get up without using your arms. That's why I think this broke. And hopefully that won't happen again. Anyway, I think they look pretty good. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please subscribe and like, and be sure to hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I put out a new video.